is so frustrating. I think that's definitely one of the areas that needs to improve. Right. So you can see here, this is what it looks like in cursor. Sometimes I look at the features that we've shipped, so I'm like, would I actually even use this feature? The way I found works best for me is to split my life or split my day into two parts. So I am founding Demi. I do all of the marketing, I do all of the building, speaking to customers, operations, everything that goes on is me. And the way that I have set my day up is I know I'm a morning person. So I'll set up my hard tasks or my really important tasks right at the start of the day. So I've got my full attention. I then typically go to the gym at lunch. And then after I come back from the gym, that's when I do all the building. Now I've been a product manager for 7 or 8 years. Building products is the thing that comes easy to me. So I can do that towards the afternoon or the evening when I'm a little bit more tired. To give you context at where we're at and what stage, Demi is in design partner phase at the moment. With the design partner phase, usually it's ideally people in your ICP, your ideal customer profile, who are actively testing and using the product so they can give you real feedback. And ideally, if they're paying for the product, that's even better because feedback from a paying customer is always better than from a free customer. So right now we have a shared Slack channel. Everyone is in there so they get to meet each other and network, but they also get to share their feedback on the product, ask questions and stay on top. So right now I'm really listening to their feedback, trying to iterate the product forward based on the requirements that they're sending through and the problems that they're experiencing. And also one of the Achilles heels with vibe coding is reliability. Demi is completely vibe coded, over 100,000 lines of code. Reliability is definitely the Achilles heel right now. And that pains me being a product person. I'm someone who loves my product to be just seamlessly smooth and reliable. So that is my mission this week, is to really improve the reliability. Once we're approved on Slack's marketplace for our app, we'll then unleash the waitlist and let more users in. Okay, so I don't actually start my day like this, but how I do show it, I'm not gonna film. But basically my alarm goes off at about 6:50 in the morning. And by 6:51, I've probably put my laptop on my lap and I'm checking in on my agents that are running in overnight, checking things like DMs or emails that I've received, just trying to get a little bit of that admin out of the way that's just really easy to do when you're horizontal. And now I've showered, having breakfast. Now I go straight to Twitter typically. So the way I do it, and this is how I leverage AI as part of my day, is I've set up a skill in Claude Code and I've given it search queries that really find the type of customers that I'm looking for on X. And that was just by trial and error. I've asked it to save these queries. And then every morning it gives me the search queries. I go then to Twitter, I search for the queries. So if I just do an example here, Slack is overwhelming, search for that. And now that's gonna give me a long list of customers who have been tweeting about Slack and challenges with Slack over the last 24 hours. Always go to latest, not top, by the way. You really wanna be engaging with customers when they're talking about the issue. And as you'll see, you're gonna see my name already because I did this morning, but this tweet I haven't responded to. It's in Spanish, so I'm not gonna respond to that one. Yeah, cool. So the goal here is, first of all, do not just get a template response and copy paste it to everyone. Number one, that's gonna get you banned on Twitter pretty quickly. Number two, you're not actually going to add value. The whole point of responding to these messages is to add value, build rapport, and then, hey, look, if they are really interested in the solution, then you have Demi. So this guy said, put your phone on do not disturb, clearly helps a ton. Also mutes Slack notifications, great. So muting notifications definitely helps me, but I do get a sense of guilt because I know notifications pile up. I actually recorded how many hours I spent in Slack per week, and it was 8 hours. I was spending a day every week responding to Slacks or searching Slacks, which is just crazy. So, hey, if this guy resonates with what I'm saying, maybe he'll reply. At that point, sure, I'll introduce Demi. If he goes to my profile, he'll see I've got demos about Demi, so he'll find it if he really wants to. All right, that was pretty wild. Speaking to someone who is currently a portfolio company of one of the VCs in Australia, he missed my call, called me back. Just sort of getting a sense check on if they're the right fit for me and the right fit for Demi. Sounds like they are, sound like they're really good people. So he's gonna intro me to them, which is awesome. And then whilst I was on the call, I saw my LinkedIn messages light up. And one of the VCs a different one has actively reached out to me to sort of set up a call. So that was really cool. Nice to see maybe word is spreading that I'm wrapping up at Relevance and starting my own thing. So yeah, it gets you pretty pumped. Cool. So here is a clip of me. So there's my search query. It's saved into my Claude skill. And then go to latest and you'll start to see I've already responded to some of these as I was doing it this morning. Curious to hear why you hate Slack. It's the constant noise and distractions. I think try and deliver some value, try and build rapport, and then typically they'll respond and maybe they'll be interested in using your tool. I do have on my profile, obviously my pinned tweet is me with 167 Slack notifications, which was just a crazy morning. And then I think if you scroll down, I probably have to do these more regularly, but then I put a demo up as well of the product in action so they can get a feel for how it looks. Now, why is this important? Well, this is really like top of funnel. You're building your network, you're building your sort of status on social media, and then you start getting people responding to your tweet, to your posts. They comment, maybe they DM you. I mean, this particular one had 55,000 impressions, and if you go to likes, 75 people engage with the post. And that's a lot of people I can then start to reach out to myself. They're showing a signal that they're interested in the space, or maybe they even resonate with the problem I'm talking about. Maybe they'll resonate with the product. So then I would go and DM these people, add them on LinkedIn, DM them, strike up a conversation. And again, one of the learnings, even in the last few weeks, you're not selling in message one. You're really trying to build rapport, understand their problem space. And some of them you probably never sell to because their response will be, yeah, no, I don't really think Slack's that bad. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to say the products. Great to meet you. Let's stay in touch. Some will say, no, I really want to solve this problem. And those are the people that you really want to invest time in so you can get them using your product. Obviously, the other thing I did do that I couldn't show you because I'm filming on it is I record YouTube videos. So for me, YouTube is a bit of a personal passion project, to be honest. Now, will it get more customers for Demi? I've got no idea. But I thought it'd be really cool having watched YouTube videos for, it feels like at this point, nearly 2 decades, honestly. It's like when I was 11 or 12, I started watching YouTube and seeing people in different industries really document their journey. I thought it was just so inspiring. And whatever happens at the end of all of this, in 4 or 5 years, I look back and I've documented this entire journey. For me, just to watch that back would be super cool. So that's really the reason I'm doing it. If it helps Demi, it helps Demi. Awesome. Hopefully it can help others who are either thinking about doing the journey like this of being a founder or just find the content entertaining. It's all good. AI can get you 95% of the way, 90% of the way, but that last 10% still takes so long. Especially if you're someone like me. Demi is a desktop app for a Mac. So imagine you probably have Spotify or you probably have Slack as an app on your Mac. Building one of those is more difficult than just building a website. You ship the feature, AI does it all, it's great, perfect world. Then you have to test the feature. Testing, honestly, when you start getting APIs involved, different environments, different accounts, is so frustrating. And they haven't cracked app testing yet. I think that's definitely one of the areas that needs to improve. So I've just been spending the last couple of hours. I had 3 features ready to be tested. The agent had built it. And kind of got a bit of dread, to be honest, because oh, here we go, like really annoying, buggy testing is about to happen. So I'm currently through 2 out of 3, which is great. I've got the last one, and then I'm hoping all of our tasks are super reliable. The formatting is exactly how I've designed it. The content is really high quality, and then we'll see. Fuck, I don't think I hit play. Oh, actually, let me just check. These lights are so quick. Cool. So one thing with vibe coding is that, at least in the early stages, you always get a sense that you're building on sort of shaky foundations. So you'll ship a feature, it'll work, a couple of days later it'll break, you then fix it, that'll create a new problem. And it's sort of this cycle that you go on. So what I've done is I've spawned 2 agents and I've said, hey, use as many agents as you need and do a super deep dive into the code and the product. And I want one of the agents to do a full reliability assessment and the other to do a full product experience assessment. Reliability is things like how you can log in correctly, your tasks are generated on time, etc., etc. That's the one we really need to fix first, because if you start using a product and it's buggy and it's glitchy, you're just going to lose trust in it straight away. And as a product person, it's just not something I'm happy to do. So we're fixing that first. And then the product experience one is, with vibe coding, you can ship really fast now. Sometimes I look at the features that we've shipped, I'm like, would I actually even use this feature? So I'm making sure that they're the standard, they're actually driving value. If they're not, honestly, then they shouldn't be in the product. So I should, in a couple of hours when I'm back from the gym, picked up dinner, when I come back to my laptop, I'll have 2 plans ready to go. I might need to do a little bit of tweaking just because the plan is really the most important piece of this whole puzzle. So the more you can do up front to make sure it's spot on, the better. And then I'll likely kick off the build for the technical or reliability improvements overnight. The reason I'm not going to do them in parallel is because there's probably a lot of overlapping code in the 2 plans. And the reliability is the one that we really, really need to get sorted. So I'll prioritize that one through the night, probably review it tomorrow morning, then kick off the product experience changes tomorrow morning. So just an example of how you can use AI when you're not there, or sort of creative ways. And the way I do it, I literally said to Claude one day, hey, when my laptop goes to sleep, I want Claude to be able to run for an extra 30 minutes. So I just said to Claude, hey, I'm going to the gym, not going to be at my laptop for the next sort of couple of hours. Here's the task that I want you to do. You've got full autonomy to investigate, so you don't need to make any changes at this point. And then my laptop will run, a good half an hour, and that's enough time for Claude to do his job for this sort of task. So yeah, that's kind of an example of what I would do that most days if I'm going to the gym. And then obviously you get to come back to nice. Right, let's get this out of the way. I am just back from the gym. Thought it'd be useful I show you what we talked about in the car. Alrighty, so you can see here, this is what it looks like in Cursor when you're using Claude Code IDE extension. So you can see here, you can see all of the workings, all of this thinking, code changes if you want to. I pretty much never look at the code changes because it doesn't really mean much to me. And then you can kind of see 2 things here, right? The assessment is here. And if you click here, you get a nice preview. So it's totally readable, like any other document. Ooh, I haven't read this, since some feedback I gave it early on. So 5.5 out of 10 is not good, but we can fix it. So it's all good. So you can see summary, and it's gone through each feature and given it a score out of 10, which is cool. Feature deep dives, again, all in just readable English, super easy. And then, okay, next steps for each feature. And then I reckon test coverage, if we want to scale beyond 20 or 30 users, so we only have like 6 or 7 right now because we're in a design partner phase. And it's even, and I did ask it to do this, but it's looked through all of my recent PRs, so my code changes, and identified patterns in, number 1, I ship stuff, it breaks, I hotfix it, and then I break it a different way. And I'm just in this cycle right now. And then risks. So I always like to see risks in a assessment or a plan, just so I can understand, hey, is this small improvement worth this really big risk, yes or no? And there are some risks, so that's all good. Assumptions, I'll validate again, because I wasn't there to supervise it. I said make assumptions. I can see, I think this assumption is wrong actually. So I'll update that. Recommendations, perfect. Cool. So what I asked it to do is when the assessment was there, and I'll have a proper look through that in a second, but it looks pretty good from face value. I then said, make a plan. So the plan is what your agent will follow when it executes the changes. So this is the thing that you really need to get right, because if you don't get this right, your agent is going to go all sorts of directions, and that's when you're going to get yourself in a hole. The plan, again, it's pretty simple English, but I have a special prompt that I use, which is quite a detailed plan. So multiple agents will investigate the code base. I then ask a staff level engineer as an agent will then review the plan, give feedback. And I also like it to do things like technical architecture diagrams. So This isn't a technical architecture diagram, but there probably is one in here somewhere. Okay, it hasn't got one. So what I would do here is review the plan, specifically the requirements. The technical solution I'm less invested in because, again, Claude knows better than me, to be honest. But things like, have you captured the user journey correctly? Am I comfortable with this level of risk, etc. Those sort of things. So let me have a look. Phase 1, stop flying blind. Team structure. Each agent works on a distinct set of files, yeah. Agent 1, error handling fixes. Okay, cool. So this theme that came up in the assessment is around monitoring and alerting, which is our weakest point. So it wants to add a bunch of monitoring and alerting, which sounds good. I just need to understand what that actually means and where the monitoring and alerting will be tracked. Cool. You'll notice that these are in phases as well. One of the prompts that I gave Claude was, because I knew this would turn into a mammoth project, because I literally just said investigate our whole code base, which is pretty wild. I said break it into phases. So the reason that we break it into phases is there's no way I'm going to say to an agent, okay, looks good, go and execute. If we do that, the context window is going to get huge. It's going to self-compact, and then when it does that, it loses bits of important context, and then it goes off and makes bad decisions. What I'm going to do instead is say, hey, execute phase 1. It will use multiple sub-agents within that to manage context. I'll pause at phase 1, and then we'll test. If everything passed tests, then I essentially say update the plan file, say phase 1 is done, and then I will ask a new agent to continue from phase 2. So this is just, well, to be honest, the only reason I really do this is context management. That is absolutely key in this era of agentic coding, where if a context window gets too big, the agent performance dramatically drops. So you have to kind of keep an eye on it. So that's what I'll be doing here. And as you can see, you can start to see like this workflow. You do spend a lot of time testing, and it's really, really, really tempting not to test because the agent said it's passed all tests. That's going to be a mistake, frankly. If you do that, you're going to end up with bugs. And in a world where it's already easy to ship bugs, doing stuff like that just really doubles your chances. I'm going to review this document. I'm then going to set the agents on it for the night. Probably be done before I go to bed. I might review it in the morning. Hope you found it useful. That is my current day in the life of how I'm building an AI startup. I don't even know if my hand reached the mic. Anyway.